Welcome back to the deep dive. We are here to rip through the research and white papers you've shared with us and, well, give you the insights, the shortcuts, really, that you need to get ahead.
Exactly.
And today, we are diving deep into a shift that is set to redefine pretty much every strategic job this year.
It's all about marketing strategy in the cognitive economy.
The cognitive economy, we hear that phrase everywhere.
And it's not just another buzzword. For anyone listening who needs to get up to speed fast, the core idea we're unpacking is that AI is it's moving beyond simple automation. It's becoming a true co-strategist.
A co-strategist, that's a huge leap.
It's a profound elevation of the machine's role in how we think and work.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with a foundational definition.
Yep.
What exactly is the cognitive economy?
Simply put, it's an economy where the main source of competitive advantage isn't physical assets anymore. It's not even just having tons of data.
Okay.
It's about how intelligently you can interpret and act on that data. Value is created not by what you have, but by how well you can think.
How well you can think. I like that. To really get the gravity of this, maybe we should put it in a bit of historical context. We've seen these big shifts before.
Absolutely. Think back to the industrial era. What was that all about?
Mm-hmm.
It was about scaling production.
Right. Factories, machinery.
Exactly. Competitive advantage came from physical labor and massive capital assets.
And then the digital era, which we all lived through.
The digital era completely redefined scale. It wasn't about production. It was about scaling access.
Global reach, instant information.
Precisely. Connecting buyers and sellers across huge networks. You won by controlling the platform.
So if the industrial era scaled physical capability and the digital era scaled reach, what is the cognitive era scaling?
It scales intelligence. This is the key. The sources call it thinking leverage, and it's the new determinant of success.
Thinking leverage.
We're past the point of just automating simple, repetitive digital tasks. Now we're leveraging AI, especially generative AI, to automate complex reasoning.
So the main question for every organization now is,
It's how well you can maximize your strategic output by thinking with machines.
competing on thought, that's a radical idea. It feels like it moves the focus from, the IT department straight to the strategy office.
It does.
But what does that thinking leverage actually look like for, say, a marketer? Are we talking 10x faster or 10x smarter?
It's both, but the smarter part is the real game changer. Thinking leverage means you can run, say, 10,000 interpretive simulations at once,
Wow.
analyzing market shifts, competitor moves, regulatory changes, things a human team could never do in any reasonable amount of time. It's scaled synthetic intelligence.
So why now? I mean, AI has been around for decades. What's different?
Well, our sources point to a critical meeting of two things.
Yeah.
A technological maturity and some pretty intense external pressures.
Let's start with the tech side.
On the technology side, the main driver is the explosion of advanced machine learning models. And this is key. These models are moving beyond simple pattern matching.
Pattern matching being A usually follows B.
Right. Now they have capabilities that actually mimic structured reasoning.
Okay, you have to clarify that distinction for us. Structured reasoning versus pattern matching. What's the practical difference?
Good question. So pattern matching might tell you, based on old data, that customers who click on subject line X convert at 5%.
Okay, useful but basic.
Structured reasoning, on the other hand, allows the AI to hypothesize why that happens. And then it can map that hypothesis against new unstructured data, like a new regulatory filing, to predict what would happen if you changed it to subject line Y.
So it understands context and rules, not just correlation.
Exactly. And the other massive driver is that this power is now democratized.
Through tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini.
Precisely. These large language models have made advanced intelligence a general-purpose utility. It's not just for specialized data scientists anymore.
That's the fuel. But the sources also argue there are intense external pressures making this mandatory, especially in high-stakes sectors like finance.
And that's where the must-do factor really kicks in. The regulatory environment in banking and insurance is getting incredibly complex.
It's not just about the decision anymore, is it?
Not at all. Regulators are demanding to see the transparent reasoning behind the decisions, the audit trail. AI can help document and rationalize complex strategies way faster and better than any manual report.
Then what about the customer side?
Equally demanding. Customers now expect personalized, ethical, data-driven engagement, and they expect it instantly. That level of dynamic personalization is just impossible without a co-strategist AI in your decision loop.
So if you can't do that, you're already behind.
Instantly behind.
This brings us right to the core transformation, the marketer's role. The source material really emphasizes that AI is now a thinking amplifier, not just a tool for scheduling posts.
The shift is from delegation to orchestration. When AI is your co-strategist, it tackles the really complex analytical barriers.
Okay, give us some examples of these new capabilities. What does co-strategy actually look like in practice?
Let's start with market analysis. An AI co-strategist can ingest just massive volumes of unstructured data, social media posts, news transcripts, competitor reports.
Stuff that would take a human team weeks to get through.
Weeks, if not months. And it synthesizes all of that into summarized insights, often spotting trends that humans just missed because of cognitive overload.
That's powerful research. But how does it cross that line into actual strategy where the stakes are really high?
It crosses a line when it moves from pure analysis to what you could call constraint-based design and simulation.
Okay.
So, for instance, the AI can take a human-defined goal, let's say launching a new savings account campaign, and it can frame the creative brief while instantly cross-referencing all current regulatory and compliance constraints.
So it's not just writing the brief, it's making sure it's legally viable from the get-go.
From the jump, that is huge value in a regulated industry.
I'll see.
And even more critically, it simulates. The AI can simulate complex customer personas and run thousands of response scenarios.
Predicting ROI for different segments, testing pricing,
Right.
all before you spend a single dollar.
Exactly. But maybe the most fascinating function the sources point out is that the AI acts as a sounding board. It actively challenges human assumptions.
You mean it can actually say, no, your plan is based on a flawed premise?
That's exactly what it means. It forces critical thinking. If you input a hypothesis like high net worth customers prioritize speed over advice, the AI can immediately counter that with real-time data showing a competitor's success with a personalized content strategy.
It's like having a built-in, objective devil's advocate.
A data-driven one, yes.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If the machine is doing all this strategic heavy lifting, what is the marketer left to do? I mean, what are the risks? And how does the human stay in control?
That is the essential question. And this shift doesn't make the marketer obsolete. It elevates them. The sources define this as a move from being a content producer to a strategic conductor.
A strategic conductor. I
Yep.
like that. What does success look like for this conductor?
Success is now defined by, I'd say, framework design and ethical oversight. The conductor's job is deciding which high-value questions to ask the AI, which data sets to trust.
And most importantly,
How to blend that essential human nuance, the empathy, the emotional context, the brand identity with machine's raw reasoning. You're conducting the intelligence symphony, but you're not playing every instrument.
so the human role becomes setting the ethical guardrails and defining the strategic frameworks, and the machine handles the complexity and scale inside those guardrails.
Exactly. Human input shifts from tactical work to pure strategy and ethics. And that is the highest ROI activity in the cognitive economy.
Let's ground this with some real-world applications. The source material makes a strong case for the financial sector being at the forefront of this.
It's the perfect stress test. You've got twin demands for incredible speed and ironclad compliance.
Let's start with fintechs. What are they doing?
Fintechs are using AI to accelerate key business moments. Imagine a user signing up for a new lending product. The AI co-strategist analyzes their application instantly, cross-references internal risk profiles with external behavioral data, and at the same time, it tailors the follow-up retention messaging based on that immediate risk assessment, all in real time.
That's hyperspeed customization. So what about insurance, which is all about risk modeling?
Insurers are moving way beyond macro segmentation. They're using AI to spot really nuanced risk behaviors. Think micro segments of customers showing unusual claim frequencies or using certain anxiety keywords in their chats.
And once the AI flags that pattern,
The human strategist steps in to refine the messaging. Maybe it prompts a proactive non-sales call from a human manager to improve loyalty and mitigate future risk. The machine flags the pattern. The human crafts the empathetic strategic response.
a perfect partnership. And the big traditional banks, how are they using this?
Banks are applying generative models not just externally, but for crucial internal functions. For instance, creating compliance-ready report summaries for regulators.
I can imagine that's a huge time saver.
It used to take teams of analysts weeks to synthesize campaign analytics from 20 different regions and check it against auditing standards. Now, a generative model ingests the raw data and the regulations, and it produces a full, compliance-ready summary almost instantly.
And it flags potential risks for human review.
Precisely. Which frees up those human analysts to focus on innovation, not just retroactive reporting. The key differentiator the sources emphasize isn't just using AI.
It's where you embed it.
Exactly. The ones who embed AI into their thinking loops, the strategic design process itself, they are the ones who innovate faster and stay compliant at the same time.
The sources are very practical here and actually conclude with an actionable framework they call Think Like a Co-Strategist. We should walk the listener through this.
Yes, this is the homework assignment. The first step is to pick a current complex marketing challenge you're facing, improving retention, a tricky product launch, something like that.
And then you go to your AI assistant, ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever you use, and you frame the question strategically.
The example in the source is excellent because it's so specific. You ask, help me explore the top 3 underlying causes affecting your challenge in the South African financial context.
And that context, the South African financial context, is the vital part, isn't it?
It's everything. It forces the model to move beyond generic global advice. It has to factor in specific local regulations, unique consumer trust issues, local competitors. That constraint turns it from a writing tool into a localized reasoning partner.
But you don't just take the list of 3 causes it spits out.
No, that's where the human strategist re-engages. This is the critical second step. You have to refine the AI's response by probing why each cause matters.
Asking follow-up questions.
Constantly. For cause number 2, what specific regulatory change is the biggest constraint? Or why does this competitive factor matter more than interest rates? You keep probing.
And that iterative loop is what turns it from a simple Q&A into a genuine strategic partnership.
Exactly. It builds a shared understanding of the problem. This exercise perfectly illustrates the core takeaways from our deep dive today.
The first one being a new economic reality.
Yes, the cognitive economy values reasoning over repetition. Repetitive tasks are for the machine. Human value lies in synthesis and posing novel solutions.
And the second takeaway really clarifies our new professional relationship with AI.
It's your thinking amplifier, not your competitor. You use it to extend your cognitive reach.
And finally, the highest ROI, the real return, comes when humans define the right questions and frameworks for the AI to explore.
The quality of your framework dictates the quality of the strategy. Simple as that.
The sources really paint a clear picture. The financial marketing leaders of tomorrow are the ones who integrate this AI co-strategy into ethical, data-driven decision systems.
It's about building repeatable intelligence.
So what does this all mean? It means the job of a strategic marketer isn't being replaced, it's being profoundly elevated.
We're moving from managing execution to orchestrating intelligence, from producing content to co-strategizing the entire approach. And this leads us to the reflection question posed in the sources, which is the perfect final thought for you to carry forward. In what specific, tangible ways can AI expand rather than replace your strategic contribution to your organization?
Where do you need to define the framework and let the machine handle the complexity?
That's the question to mull over.
Ponder that as you try the Think Like a Co-Strategist exercise this week. Thank you for diving deep with us.